What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 54 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Antrazi. We're not in the same room this time.
No, it's so not gonna be as epic. Maybe it will be. Who knows?
Well, don't make that. Yeah. What if it's better? What if this is the best show ever? Don't take that off the table.
You're right. You're right. This could be the best podcast show Thinktwice ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, dog.
Yeah, that was a little dyslexic.
You know what I mean?
That was a little dyslexic. Just switch those around a little bit, and
the best show podcast.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want. It can be whatever you want, and that's kind of it. That's the show. We can just be whatever you want. If you want it to be a goose, it can be a goose. If you want it to be a chicken sandwich, it can be a chicken sandwich. But it can't be a goose sandwich. And it can't be a live chicken.
What about chicken wings? It can be chicken wings.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
So this is the part of the show where we tell you about what we did last week.
What did we do last week?
Well, you and I did the same thing. For the
we
most part.
ate Philly cheesesteaks.
We didn't eat a single Philly cheesesteak, but we were in Philadelphia for the Star City Games Team Open. But it didn't go the way that we wanted it to go.
Yeah, we became a Philly cheesesteak.
We became a Philly cheesesteak. What does that mean? We got eaten up?
No, our opponent gave us a cheese. They cheesed you.
That is true. They did cheese me a lot. We played with our friend Harlan, and Harlan Fear. You probably have seen him on the ACG tour if you watch that. If not, he is a Magic player that decided he wanted to play Wizards in Modern, and I said, well, guess what? Now I'm going to play Modern, and you're going to not play Modern, because I'm not going to let you play Wizards. And so I decided to play Modern instead, and I played my Spirit Guide Mardu deck. Ollie, what did you play?
I played Esper Turns, and I watched you get cheese.
True. I'm going to throw some stats out, and you guys might not believe them, but Ollie was there to watch this the entire time. So here's some things that happened over the course of the tournament. We played 7 rounds ultimately before we decided that we had enough on the day. And during 4 of those rounds, I played against Tron, Mono Green Tron. And that is not a good matchup for the Mardu Pyromancer deck. That being said, I still was able to defeat it 2-0 one time. But the other 3 I did not, and I lost badly, and it was difficult for our team to get going with me playing against Tron every round. It essentially made Ollie and Harlan have to win every single round concurrently, which they couldn't manage to do, to no fault of their own, because it's not fair when they're playing 2 against 3, basically. Well, so some things that happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, some things that happened. I finished about 3 matches, I think.
That is true. Ollie finished less matches than I played against Tron.
That's true. Yeah.
So the goal of the Spirit Guides being in the Mardu Pyromancer deck is to play Blood Moon on turn 2. And against 3 of my Tron opponents, I was able to put Blood Moon onto the battlefield on turn 2 with a basic Plains and a basic Swamp in play. And I still lost every single one of those games.
They don't care.
Because it's just not good enough.
They don't care. Tron's like, Blood Moon. Okay.
All right, guess I'll play this card. Well, Karn, now see, that's interesting you say that, Ollie, because on the whole weekend, I played 8 games against... No, excuse me. Played 9 games against Tron total. And out of those 9 games, my opponents cast a combined total of 1 Karn Liberated in those games. So you're like, well, Justin, why did you get beat so bad? Because my opponents cast a combined total of 8 Ugin the Spirit Dragons.
Eugene.
In those same games. And I'm not even exaggerating this number.
Yeah. I saw it.
Unfortunately, saw it as I was getting destroyed by Eugene.
Anytime I looked over, there was Eugene. and Justin going.
Yep. And a lot of that was happening.
Yeah.
A lot of that was happening. So I think next time I play Modern, I might have to do the if you can't beat them, join them.
Oh, I agree.
Type deal.
I agree. There's the best thing to do against all these decks that like require thinking and skill and like Jeskai and Blue White Control and Mardu and all these new decks popping up that are like cool. These graveyard based decks. Best thing to do about them, just tron it up. Eugene doesn't care. He's like, yo,
no,
what are you playing?
Not care at all.
That looks hard to play, but guess what? You're dead. You're dead. I'm just going to -3 here.
Man,
great deck.
It didn't feel good. It did not feel good. It probably felt good for my opponents. Did not feel good for me.
Oh, I'm sure it felt great. God, Eugene's great. Great card.
And like the thing is, and most of the time I could just like, well, sometime maybe I can beat one of these.
But that was that second. Yeah. I saw he Dreadbore one. It's like, oh, thank God. He untaps Ugin plus.
No.
We're
Yeah,
dead.
that happened a lot. That actually happened a lot.
Yeah.
So Ollie and I we played on Sunday. You switched decks to a Grixis mid-range deck.
I played the deck that won the PGQ online. And that deck had it was Grixis Bolus. It had an awful mana base, and the deck was just terrible.
Really bad.
Yeah, that deck was bad. I wish I had played Espernexus instead.
So to clarify, the deck itself isn't the art type is not bad.
Yeah.
That particular deck that Ollie played was not good.
Yeah, it was really bad. The mana base itself, I died to the mana base so many times. So.
Yeah. I played Sneak and Show in Legacy the next day.
Oh my God.
And Ollie, why don't you tell them I drew so poorly in Sneak and Show. Why don't you tell them what you said to me?
So I watched Justin play like 2 matches of this deck.
Well, which is the maximum, all the matches that I played. But
Yeah. After his second match, I was like, Justin, if this was a new deck you were trying out, or like a brew that someone had just first seen, they would laugh at you and say this deck's unplayable. Because all I saw him do was cast 10 to 12 cantrips per game, and that's it. That's it.
Anything else?
No. I literally just watched him cast like Preordain, Brainstorm, Fetch, Preordain. One game, though, he did cast Sneak Attack, but couldn't activate it and died.
The very first game that I played, this is not an exaggeration again, I cast 3 Brainstorms, 3 Ponders, and a Preordain. No, I have that backwards. 3 Brainstorms, 3 Preordains, and a Ponder. And never found an Emrakul or a Gristlebrand. I ended the game dying with Force of Will, blue card in my hand with a Sneak Attack on the battlefield.
Your opponent,
in game 1.
Your opponent didn't even know you were playing Sneak and Show. Who's like some blue deck.
Yeah, it was just the draws were so atrocious.
They were awful.
It was really astounding.
I saw you go Preordain, bottom, draw a card. Preordain, bottom, draw a card, and still miss. And I was like, I mean, this deck's awful. This deck's unplayable.
It sure looked unplayable.
Yeah.
It felt unplayable. So, ugh.
Yeah.
But we did have one positive come out of the weekend.
Justin got married.
To Tezzeret, the winner of the poll, question of the week last week. Which Planeswalker is more likely to make a splash in Standard? Tezzeret took 58% of the vote, which was my horse in the race. Johnny, who was Ollie's horse, took 34% of the vote. So you guys are firmly in the Tezzeret camp.
You are.
Smart.
Well, to be fair,
it's the right call.
He is picking up. That mono blue combo deck is picking up, and Tezzeret's a good card in the sideboard. And sometimes main deck.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time, man. Just a matter of time. You want to see your boys Psy start being played? Gonna be right alongside the Tez father.
I called Psy.
I know you called him when he was just in his mother's womb.
Yes, and now he's seeing plays a 4 of in decks. He's a 4 of in multiple lists now.
What
yes.
lists are you talking about?
Magic competitive leagues. He's
Have you made deck lists and you're saying, well, I've made there's 4 of in deck lists?
No, there's people. It won some nationals, and there's multiple decks playing start with 4 side and a bunch of
Look,
artifacts.
The thing about the Psy thing, I was on board with him the whole time. You like positioned me as this like anti-Psy.
I was on board with him before you were born. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you're doing the hipster thing. It's like you like a thing, but I like a thing, but I liked it first. So
yeah, but it was just a sarcastic hipster thing. So it wasn't like too hipstery because I said a joke that's obviously not true.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think you were born before Psy.
After last weekend getting my head beat in by Ugin, who knows when I was even born.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't even know. Okay. Before we get to our first segment, we want to give a shout out to everyone that is listening on one of our platforms, which is all of you, obviously. But if you are listening on a platform you do not normally listen to, please let us know what platform you would like us to be on. We've actually just added another platform to our stable of platforms to listen to the podcast on, which includes SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and now Google Play Music by popular demand. Make sure, if you are able, to leave us a review on one of those platforms, especially our newest one, Google Play. If you're listening on Google Play Music, leave us a review if you can, and make sure to remember to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. We have a lot of great rewards tiers, including our $1 tier, which grants you early access to the show, as well as access to our Discord channel, which is a lot of fun. Especially this week when all of the Commander previews were going, everyone's kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't even, there were so many posts I could not even keep up. Because I was at work, like, when everything was getting spoiled.
Yeah,
and it would be like, there are 1,000 posts in a minute.
Yeah.
1,000 a minute, I counted by hand.
So many.
Later.
So many weird, yeah. So many unique stuff. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So, that is a $1 per episode Patreon tier. A lot of fun. Early access show, Discord channel. Okay, Ollie, are you ready? This is the part that I've been waiting for the most, because we're going to talk about Core 2019 in Commander. You ready?
My body's telling me yes, but my head is telling me yes.
Also yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. We'll take a quick break when we return. Commander for Core 2019. So here's how I want to go about this. So, Ollie, you and I have listed all of the colors in Magic, as well as multicolored and colorless. I kind of want to just go down each of the colors for what this set looks like to the Commander format. And then at the end, we can kind of do like a top 5 for Commander. And I also want to talk about this set for Cube a little bit too, but we can do that at the very end. How's that sound?
Deal.
Excellent. All right.
If I said no deal, what would happen? Would I get box number 3 or 4?
Yeah, you don't want door number 3.
All right. So deal.
Yeah. I don't know what door number 2 is, but that's door number 3 for sure.
Next time on Deal or No Deal, Ollie chooses no deal.
Okay, so let's start with white. The most innocuous card, in my opinion, in the entire set for Commander, is actually one that I think is one of the most powerful, and that is Johnny's Welcome. Are you familiar with this card?
Yes, I actually love a Johnny's Welcome.
Oh my gosh, it's back in the Ajani thing. I think. Are you gonna commit? You can commit to this bit for the whole podcast? Great. Okay,
definitely a Jenny.
Okay, great. So Johnny's Welcome is an enchantment for 1 white mana, and all it says is when a creature enters battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life.
It's like
looks really simple, right?
Looks like a Soul Sisters type deal, but it's only on your side.
Yes, that's true. But this is enchantments, in my opinion,
harder to kill.
Are and I've said this a bunch of times. Historically, these are the most difficult permanents to interact with in Commander. There's some colors that literally have no way of messing with them, or virtually no way. So, unlike something like Soul Warden or Soul's Attendant, you have an enchantment that has the same effect, and it's so hard to remove. It allows you to have a repeatable effect that you want multiple of in your deck, right? Because if you're interested in having this card, like if you have like a Karlov deck, or honestly anything that has like a token something or a life game sub theme, this card will go excellently into that deck.
Of course, yeah.
So it looks really simple, and it's like this is one of those cards that I think you have to play with, or alternatively, if you're one of those people that has like a mono white or like a black white deck around life game, you've seen this card and you're like, oh yes,
yeah,
this card is awesome.
I'm gonna gain life. My opponent's gonna lose life.
And the first time you cast it, it's just your opponent's just like, okay. And then when you're just like, oh, you've gained 28 life off of a Johnny's Welcome.
Yeah.
On the same token, the second card I want to talk about is actually kind of goes in the same deck, and that's Dwarven Priest. This is a 2/4 for 4, and it just says when it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. So this is more of a life gain in chunks type deal. This is something like, especially in like a black-white deck, where you can recur it over and over again, just to gain you life. And this is not like one of the most powerful things that does this effect, but it's something that's recurable. And again, if you're in the market for a life gain deck that has a lot of like tokens in it, then you want redundancy at this effect a lot.
Yeah, or just playing a Test of Endurance.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like a life gain centric deck. You just want everything that does other things and gains life in different ways. So this is just another one of those.
This is like Grey Merchant's second removed cousin.
Yeah, like he's not as famous, but like you saw him at Thanksgiving one time.
Yeah, and you hate his guts because he was white.
Wow, that got dark real quick. Anyway, do you have one? I have one more to talk about. Do you want to talk about one before I talk about one? Okay.
Yeah. Cleansing Nova. I think Cleansing Nova is great. Austere Command is obviously sweet because the different modes you can pick, and you can like shoot. You can like weigh it how you want to do it. It's also political, and Cleansing Nova is the same way. You can destroy all artifacts and enchantments and the creatures alone, or you can destroy all creatures. So you can definitely like play a kind of like a political game with this card. Like, hey, if I want to destroy creatures, I'll destroy these enchantments, but you have to do so and so. Or you can just do it and just kill whatever you want. I think that the versatility, especially in Commander, like you said, enchantments and artifacts are kind of hard to deal with, and Nova is just a great way to deal with that, or have an option to deal with it to deal with it in that way.
Yeah, sure. And you can also have this. You know, this is just like Austere Command. Like Ollie said, this is a card you can have where you can really utilize both modes.
Exactly.
In your deck, you can build it in a way to do that. I do think this card is just worse than Austere Command, even though it costs 1 less mana. I think the flexibility and the additional political impacts of Austere Command kind of push it above, because like the difference between 5 mana and 6 mana Commander is negligent. It's not nothing, but it's fun, especially for white, because white is one of the colors that leans on enchantments more than just about any other color, to be able to get like big creatures and artifacts with the same spell and leave all your enchantments, especially if you're playing the aforementioned like a tokens oriented deck, or just something that tries to build big boards.
Yeah.
Last card I want to talk about, I think this card is just okay. I think people, it looks, I don't know. I think I'm more down on this card than I should be, but it's pretty reasonable, because in Commander, it's better than any other format, and that's Resplendent Angel. So Resplendent Angel says, at the beginning of each end step, if you gave 5 or more life this turn, create a Serra Angel token, a 4/4 white angel token with flying and vigilance. The ability to give Resplendent Angel +2/+2 and lifelink is, you're almost never going to activate this in Commander. This is just more here for a bunch of incidental life gain, and then every turn you can get a 4/4.
Unless you're playing Training Grounds.
Not really though, because it's still
4 mana.
it costs like 4 to give it +2/+2 in lifelink. Like this card for the most part isn't even going to like tangle in combat unless the coast is like super duper clear, because it's so much more valuable. If like this card would be, I mean, this card would just be better as an enchantment, which is like Angelic Accord. So
All right,
I think I think it's okay, and it probably goes in the deck, but it's a mythic rare, so it's more expensive. Like a Johnny's Welcome and Dwarven Priest, I think for that type deck are better because they do the thing you want them to do, which is gain life more. And this is like the payoff card rather than the get you there card.
All right. Can we move on to my favorite color in Commander?
Yes. Then we'll move on to my favorite color, but we'll do yours first.
All right. Blue.
Okay.
And of course, my favorite card is still Nexus of Fate.
Yeah.
Card is sweet. The fact that shovels back in makes it easier to rebuy and like find, especially with tutor effects or draw effects or stuff like Mystical Tutor or whatever.
Yeah. There's an even better one in Commander for this card.
What?
Merchant Scroll.
Yeah, that one just puts it in your hand.
Blue instant. Yeah, just basically demonic tutors for it.
Yeah, yeah. I have a turns deck that just blue-green turns, just takes a bunch of turns, and this card is going to swing that deck. Mystical Tutor, to be fair, usually gets Temporal Mastery. That's the one that I usually get with Mystical Tutor. Mm-hmm. But Nexus of Fate is a excellent addition and welcome. Especially since you can like stack it with things that copy spells like Swarm Intelligence or Mirage Conjecture, and then you have 2 turns to try to find another copy. And Commander, that's not too difficult, honestly. So
yeah, you have a lot of filtering if you want it, or card selection, because you can kind of go higher on the mana curve in Commander. So
yeah,
I think this is it's either the best or the second best Time Warp effect in Commander.
In Commander, okay.
Yeah, which is pretty big because there's a lot of them. I
don't think it's best. I still think Time Stretch is the best one.
Well, that I do too. I think Time Stretch is the best one, just because like even just for 3 more mana you get a whole extra turn. Also, if you're already at 7, like you're probably going to 10.
Yeah, the one where you vote is really good too. Where you vote for a turn or
Expropriate. I mean, honestly, that's
really
the best. Too. That's the best one. That's legitimately the best one. So if you include that,
Time Stretch is better, but
I do not at all. I think that card is better. That card is Time Stretch. That card is either Time Stretch or it's Time Walk and take your opponent's best card. So there's going to be someone that says no, you can have an extra turn. So that card is. I mean, if we count, I guess we should, because that card is just better than Time Stretch. That's a super messed up card. Oh, I don't even think it's close.
Okay. I mean, I just think the 2 turns in a row, or especially when you copy, is just better, personally.
I'm telling you, in practice with Expropriate, you get 2 turns in a row.
Okay.
I mean, this is just from experience.
I've just never lost after I've cast Time Stretch.
Okay. I'm telling you, this is the same. Expropriate is like almost the same card for 1 less mana. And if it's not the same card, you just took all of your opponent's best cards.
Yeah, but taking the best cards isn't the same as taking all the turns.
It's not taking all the turns. Again, it's usually the same card, plus you get 2 permanents.
Okay.
For less mana.
We can agree, disagree.
Okay. Anyway, I think Nexus of Fate is great. Any way you look at it, it's a top 3 time warp effect card for Commander.
Top 5.
Okay, I think it's top 3. Anyway, continue.
Okay. Next one is Sai. I think Sai is a great commander, and also just great in your artifact deck, either be it blue or blue red. The fact that Sai can just he churns out, or yeah, it turns out so many Thoppers and so quickly. It's absurd. Like he's just really good. And then the other ability where you can just sacrifice artifacts to draw a couple cards is also very powerful because there's some artifacts that give you benefit when they die, and if someone's trying to blow up your artifacts, you can just sack them to Sai. I just think Sai's a fun one, and it's not like overpowered too. Like if you see Sai as a commander, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, kill him first, you know. Or if you see like blue red one that's like a combo card, you're like, okay, this is probably should watch our opponent.
I think that is maybe the case the first time you play with Sai, but it's probably not the case afterwards.
Yeah, probably not.
There's a lot of commanders now. Not just commanders, but there's a lot of like artifact token making cards now more so than there have been before.
Yeah.
So his ability, like if you play like a Mirror Battlesphere, when he's in play, you're gonna get 4 mirror tokens, a Thopter token, and a Mirror Battlesphere. You can trade multiple of those in for cards, and then just like keep going. Especially with artifacts, other than like creatures in black, have the easiest way to get in and out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
So I think people are gonna catch on because like it's almost difficult to play this card honestly. Yeah. I don't mean that you're gonna like have a combo deck, but when you start like casting stuff, it's gonna feel like a little combo when you're going through stuff and making so many tokens really quickly.
I agree, especially with things like War of Invention and inspiring statuary. Like your Thopter's not gonna be tapped for mana to improvise. That's pretty absurd. Like even in
yeah, go ahead.
I'll say like even in standard, like this, like you can just make 4 Thopters ever, and if you play or 3 Thopters and play inspiring statuary, tap your Thopters, tap statuary, and play Karn or play Ugin or play Karn Liberated or play an Eldrazi. Like you can do some silly stuff with inspiring statuary and colorless spells or just X spells. Like you pull from tomorrow or stroke of genius. Like there's a lot of powerful things you can do with inspiring statuary and Sai. And statuary costs 3, so it's tutorable with Trophy Mage. You can tutor it with like War of Invention. And you can tutor it with like a bunch of
in Commander. It's tutorable with virtually
a lot of things.
Yeah, like a ton of cards.
Yeah. Just a great mono blue deck. I would like it. So
yeah, I think. And for those of you that are obviously watching Commander Versus, I would say that there's a high likelihood that I'm going to try to make a side deck for the show at some point. I don't know when, but I'm interested. A card that goes into that deck is probably One with the Machine. Mm-hmm. This is a really simple card, but oftentimes you're going through your deck so quickly, sometimes you run out of cards. Sai's obviously great with that too, but One with the Machine just says draw cards equal to the highest converted mana cost among artifacts you control. So if you're like powering out with like Inspiring Statuary, like you're saying, or even like the new blue-red Saheeli, which we'll talk about next week, which I think is a phenomenal card, where you get big stuff out really quickly, but then you kind of have nothing left. This card is I would say on average is going to draw you 5 cards, but if you're trying, it will draw you like 8 to 12.
Yeah, if you like Metalwork Colossus or stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's so many things.
Yeah,
like Darksteel Forge is a 9. Like Darksteel Colossus is an 11. Blightsteel Colossus, if you're that guy, is a 12. There's
also that one that like gives all your artifacts affinity for artifacts.
Mycosynth Golem,
yeah,
that's an 11.
And he himself has affinity, so like there's a lot of stuff you can do with this.
Yeah, and oftentimes like you can get artifacts out so quickly, but you can't cycle through your deck. This card is going to be.
Can you imagine
a staple for that deck?
Having Inspiring Statuary out and Mycosynth Golem, you just like play all your stuff for free and make Thoppers because of Sai. Basically, you almost get infinite mana. It's kind of absurd.
Yeah, you just need the cards. Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not about like you're not having trouble playing stuff.
Yeah, it's cantrip.
You just need them to play. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, moving on And there's one more artifacty card I want us to talk about.
Okay.
Now that we're kind of on the artifact kick, and that is Tezzeret, Artifice Master. Planeswalkers are tricky in Commander because they're fragile. They die to virtually everything. They die to anything that says like non-land permanent. They die to creatures attacking. They die to damage spells. They're fragile.
Yep.
That being said, drawing 2 cards is powerful, and even the opportunity to draw 2 and then, like, if it somehow lives to your next turn, drawing 2 more. In Commander, it's going to draw a lot of heat, but if you have a way to protect Tezzeret, this card can filter through, because like we were saying, like sometimes the artifact decks have a problem with running out of gas, and he's the gas man. He's going to fill the tank up.
Oh, he is.
A thing that I particularly love for Commander is Tezzeret's best ability, which is his draw 2 ability, is a 0. And I don't mean to say that, like, obviously it doesn't cost you any loyalty to do, but the fact that it's a 0 makes it less threatening than if it was like a +1, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not building to anything. It's like, look, hey guys, I'm just gonna have Tezzeret stay at 5. I just want to draw some cards. Now that's not going to work because 2 cards is too many, but it's not going up or down. It's kind of just staying at the status quo, which draws some heat off of it in most groups.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. A card that this is one of the arguably the most interesting card in the whole set, just because the play patterns for this card are going to be super weird, is Metamorphic Alteration. It's a aura for 1 and a blue. It's a enchant creature. When as Metamorphic Alteration enters the battlefield, choose a creature. So it's just like a clone as it enters the battlefield. An enchanted creature is a copy of the chosen creature. So I see this being played in two different ways, and only 2 different ways. Way 1 is the kind of like the level 0 play. This is Blue's way of turning a problem creature into a not problem creature without killing it, because Blue doesn't do well killing stuff, and sometimes you don't want to bounce it because it has an enter the battlefield effect or what have you, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the level 0 play. The thing that I see this happening more often is you make a cheap copy. This is going to be similar to I don't know, like a Phyrexian Metamorph type thing, where you just basically make a cheap copy that has haste of another creature that you control, that in Commander you'd normally only have 1 of, because there's no mono blue clones with haste. There's a clone with flash, stunt double, but you have to play that at the end of your opponent's turn. There's a blue-red one with haste and Dex Duplicant, but this is the only one that can essentially grant haste to a creature. If you have a creature that has a tap ability that's powerful, and you have another creature that's been in play, you can just play this, copy your other creature. And this is how I see this card being played more often, is comboing with another creature that you have that gets better in duplicates.
Multiples, yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Ollie, a card that you have been talking about a lot for Standard, you think is good in Commander 2, which is Mystic Archaeologist.
I think it's good, especially in a blue-green type shell with either like Seedborn Muse or a way to untap your lands on each opponent's up turns, basically. Mm-hmm. This is where this card comes into play. Like, it's better than River Hopo. It's just 2 cards, like you said, 2 cards is a lot, and drawing 2 cards on your turn, then drawing 2 cards on someone else's turn, then when it comes back to me, I have 6 new cards in my hand. That's pretty absurd. It's also if you are playing the activated ability deck, we can copy. You basically, like, you're playing all the copy effects like Rings of Brighthearth. You're playing training grounds, and just ways to like reduce the cost of activated abilities. This is pretty good there too. It's just a nice way to refill. I think it'll really shine in the big mana decks, like either things like where you double your mana, or ways to untap your lands.
Yeah, And the good thing about that is this card isn't usually in those situations. This is the payoff card and not the problem card.
Yeah.
Because if they get rid of this, like they left Seedborn Muse or like Unwinding Clock or the thing that's letting you get all this mana to activate it, right?
Yes.
Like that's the problem card because you're probably going to have other cards in your deck that are able to take advantage of that. So using removal on Mystic Archaeologist is kind of...
It's always a bad feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like a 2/1, but you also know the impact that it has on the game.
Right, and usually if you play, you should play with 5 mana up, so at least you get 2 cards out of it, and then it feels real bad to kill it because like your opponent's gonna draw 2 cards and you're just gonna 3-for-1 you.
Which is easier to do in Commander because obviously you have more mana available to you.
Yep.
So, all right, last card that I want to talk about for blue is a card I don't personally like, but I know that people will like it. And of course, if you haven't figured it out yet, that is Psychic Corrosion. This is kind of a fixed... I can't think of the... what's it called?
Sphinx's Tutelage.
Sphinx's Tutelage, yes. It doesn't have the loop, but it still says when you draw a card, mill. Except this says when you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. So instead of targeting someone and then having a chance to do it again, you mill multiple people, like everyone.
Yeah, seems like a very combo-esque card.
Just yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah. This is, you're going to drop it and then, bad stuff's going to start happening.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to black. My favorite color. I think blue made out the best in this set for Commander because you have all sorts of different stuff. You got extra turny stuff, you got artifacty stuff, you got a good mill card if you're into that. But black got a handful of things for like really specific archetypes. Zombies got a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of zombie tribal-esque decks. Obviously, all of like the Graveyard Marshal and oh gosh, I can't think of the other one. Stitcher Supplier, and then of course Liliana, that all help graveyards. One of my personal favorite cards in the set, outside of those, is Open the Graves, and this is just whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you make a 2/2 zombie.
Yeah, it's bridge from below, but wants to be in play.
Yeah.
It's literally a bridge from below.
Yeah, it doesn't get removed. Yeah, which is like bridge from below is unplayable in Commander, just because that just never happens. But Open the Graves is sweet. This is the number 2 card that I want to put in my Henny deck. I haven't done it yet because I don't have a copy of this card yet. I need to get a pre-release foil version. Hopefully, I can get that next week at Gen Con. But this card, to me, is like very abusable. You can actually do the combo in Standard right now, which is having Yahenni with this out and then reassembling Skeleton. And then for 2 mana, you just make a 2/2. As many times as you want.
All the zombies.
All the zombies. It's fantastic. Another good card, and this is more for the life gain deck that we talked about, maybe if you're like a black-white life gain, is Nightmare's Thirst, because it gives -X/-X. So it says you gain 1 life for an instant, 1 black, gain 1 life, and then target creature gets -X/-X, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn.
Yeah.
Minus cards and exile are always great effects because things can not die from damage or any number of things. This is just a nice tool. It's kind of like it's like a way of being like another tragic slip for.
Yeah, I really like this card
for that type deck. Yeah, this is a nice card. I mean, honestly, this is, for the most part, this is going to be like murder for a single black in that deck.
Yeah,
especially you're going to be able to kill just about anything.
Especially like Ovo decks, which is it's like -2/-2 no matter what.
Allura, yeah. No, it's good. It's good. You the aforementioned the Darksteel or Blightsteel Colossus in that side deck, you can take that down probably pretty easily in your life gain deck. Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like this card in Standard too. Like when I revisit the Son of a Lich deck for the Lich's Mastery, I definitely want to take this in consideration. Like cycling Renewed Faith and then casting this card it's pretty good too. So
yeah. That's not bad. You can kill a lot of stuff. Three is a good number for standard.
Yeah. All right,
You
next.
had. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's talk about Izareth, the Awakener.
Okay.
I think she's a pretty cool commander. Just reanimate things, like mull yourself, and then I really like her too because when she dies, the things that she reanimates don't die along with her, and she herself has Death Touch, so she's a fine way to just like block things. But or if you just want to play her as a like in your reanimator deck, like necessarily like have her to have her as a commander, but I just like her ability. Again, her ability also works with. Maybe I'm just a little too hype on training grounds here, but her ability also works with training grounds.
Maybe. I mean, Training Grounds, powerful card. I don't think I'm as high on Izareth as you are. I don't like, in my black decks, I don't like exiling my own creatures from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Usually, I want to be reanimating them multiple times, or bringing them back out of the graveyard multiple times through the course of the game. So even though this is like, it gets you just right into play for basically its mana cost, it's like a one-time shot, and it's once people see that, if you have anything threatening, even though this is a 3/3 Death Toucher, it's worth it for them to trade something bigger just so you don't get those huge effects. So
that makes sense.
I think this card puts people on high alert when you play it, and you're probably playing a really specific deck if you don't care if your creatures are getting exiled from your graveyard.
Yeah.
And Ollie, you had one more card. I actually missed this one because it's in the Liliana Planeswalker deck for this set.
Yeah, I had a Gravewaker. Gravewaker is just a big bird that reanimates other creatures in graveyard. Gravewaker costs 6 mana for a 5/5 flyer. I think you pay 5 and 2 blocks, 7 mana. You can use this instant speed if you want. It returns a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I like this as like a mana dump or a way to chain creatures. Like maybe you have if you bring back one creature, you can bring back another creature, and then like kind of loop something. I just like it because it's a high cost, but I like that it's a reanimation thing on a stick basically. Like you can just reanimate something whenever you want. So
I think mono black is one of the easiest colors to just get a boatload of mana because of Cabal Coffers. Essentially, arguably the best black card in Commander, and
colorless
see,
card?
I like this more than, well, it's not colorless, it's black.
Cabal Coffers is black, isn't it? Or colorless?
No, it's black. It has a black mana symbol in it.
It's definitely colorless though.
It's black for Commander.
Okay, gotcha.
You can't play it in a mono blue deck.
Okay, sure, but the card itself is colorless.
Yes, the card itself is colorless, but you can only play it in decks that have black mana and the commander's cost.
Okay.
Anyway, I like Gravewaker more than I like Izareth because you can continually use the effect, and it gets the creature back rather than exiling it.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to red. A card that is kind of specific for the archetype, but maybe less. I don't know. It's probably less specific than people think. Is Dark Dweller Oracle, which is a goblin that basically says, pay 1 and sacrifice a creature to exile the top card of your library, and you can play that card this turn. Mm-hmm. It's a 2/2 for 2 goblin. Like black-red sacrifice decks, this is a fantastic card. It's just another way to sacrifice creatures. Maybe if you're like threatening creatures or you're making a bunch of tokens, this is pretty good card advantage. Combined with the ability to sacrifice your creatures for a low cost. And it costs a colorless mana to activate, or a generic mana to activate rather than like a red, which you would think in past years this might be the case that this would be a red to activate, but it doesn't. So actually really like this card as just a nice little value generator, and then kind of another low cost sacrifice outlet for that type deck.
For red, I like Double Cast. is basically the twin cast, but you have to cast a double cast. You have to cast before. So double cast, it says the next spell you cast is copied. Where for twin cast or fork, you'd have to play a spell, then play fork afterwards, like to copy it. I like double cast because it adds an element of like surprise, or not surprise, but like almost like danger. You play it, and your opponent's like, okay, well if this resolves, what's next? You know, it's kind of it's. I think that in itself is kind of fun, and / like scary. I actually I really like double cast. I like that. I like the fact that you don't have to play a spell, hold party, then try to copy it, then your opponent counter it, and you just get 2 for 1. So,
see, I prefer that. I prefer an instant speed copy over this sorcery speed copy, even though I do know what you're saying, because like you're not putting a lot down. You're playing red and saying whatever comes next, you got to counter that. You got to counter that twice if you want to counter it.
Yeah.
And you kind of just laying it on the table. I do like that component. I think this card is significantly less flexible because you're only getting your stuff.
Yes, that's true.
And I think that's one of the best things of like a fork or reverberate or reiterate or those type cards is
you can take it, that spell.
Yeah, you can take advantage of your opponents doing stuff. So that being said, I do like you're just like, all right, you want to let this resolve? Because I'm going to cast something twice, and it's going to get cast twice. You can't stop it once this resolves. So I do like that.
Double cast and time warp.
I do like that. One of my favorite cards in Commander from this set is Sarkhan's Unsealing.
Yeah, this card's in standard too.
This card is great. This card is fantastic. It's an enchantment for 3 and a red. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4, 5, or 6 specifically, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to any target. So you just start lightning blasting stuff for 4. And it says whenever you cast a creature spell with power 7 or greater, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control.
Yeah.
If you're getting big, and it doesn't matter what the casting cost, it does not care about the casting cost. Just how big the creature is, how much power the creature has.
Yeah.
The creature doesn't have to resolve. It's just like, I just want to know that you're around. I want to know that you're getting cast.
Yeah.
So this card is actually terrifying. In this is great in like a dinosaur deck, or just like big like Naya creatures decks, where pretty much every creature you play is going to satisfy at least the 4 power condition, and then like you have a bunch that are 7 also. So this card is super sweet, and it's gonna draw you some heat when you play it, because your chances are you're not playing Sarkhan's Unsealing and then you're playing a giant creature in the same turn until later in the game when everyone's kind of doing crazy stuff like that. So if you play it early and you try to kind of work your way up to 7 with your creatures, you're asking for people to pay attention to you, which is usually what I don't like to do in Commander unless I'm forced to.
Right. I also like Apex of Power. Just like huge ritual.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
The biggest.
Yeah, it's basically 10 minute ritual. Let's also let exiles 7 cards. Yeah,
I thought it was 7 cards. It's 7 cards and you get 10 mana.
Yeah, 7 cards, 10 mana. And you can cast all the cards you exiled. I just think that's sweet. It gives you like options for what you can cast, and I don't know. I just like this type of effect. So
okay, yeah. This is a nice big effect. I don't know. It's you really need, once you cast this, you got to be hitting. I feel like you need to cast this with a purpose rather than be like, I got a 2 and a 3 and a 4 that I'm going to cast off this.
Yeah,
you need to be like, I'm looking for, this is basically like a gigantic impulse where I get to cast a card for free.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how I think that's how this card is the most impactful.
I mean, I also think
you're looking for like an insurrection, and then you get like a free 2-drop with it.
I mean, also like it as like like maybe you play it in your Monster Wanderer deck, so you can't cast get into it, but if you hit it, you can hit like, all right, like, okay, I'm gonna cast my Bloodbraid Elf, All right, I'm also going to cast this Minotaur guy that
Yeah.
cascades. So that way you're casting like 10 more of the spells, but you're also cascading. You're also cascading with
Yeah,
your
you're getting
spells
way
too.
more.
Yeah, I mean, I just like big silly spells. It's commander. I think Maelstrom Wanderer is sweet. I think this will be good in that type of shell. Like you'll never hit
Yeah.
off Maelstrom Wanderer, but you can still take advantage of it by casting it with that Maelstrom Wanderer.
I see that. I can see that. Okay. All right. Let's move on to green. Goreclaw. You finally have a bear legendary creature, and yet it's not a bear. It's a 4/3 for 4.
Yeah.
Now that being said, this isn't bad. I actually like Goreclaw. It's a 4/3 for 3 and a green. It says creature spells you cast with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast.
That's a
So
lot.
I wish you could play this in the same deck as Sargon's Unsealing, but you can't. I mean, you can, but then
Yeah.
they're just part of the 99 instead of your commander, because it's just
Yep.
like they're meant to be together. 2 mana is a pretty big discount for bigger creatures.
Especially if you're casting like 2 a turn.
Yeah. So the way that I actually see this card being played more is, I don't want to say combo-y, but like more of a value creature, which sounds crazy because you're like, well, value, it sounds like you're just casting big creatures. But then playing things like Garrick's Pack Leader and there's other creatures that say, like, when you play a creature spell or a creature with power 3 or greater, a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card.
Yeah.
And you just like, and their casting cost is reduced, so you just start cycling through your deck like over the course of a couple of turns and just putting like a lot of power into play. And if you can figure out a way to protect Goreclaw while you're doing that, it's easy to like refill your board over and over again.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to protect your Walker with like for green with like Lightning Greaves.
Green has a lot of ways, because you can even you even have like Heroic Intervention, even something as simple as like Blossoming Defense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways in green. If you want it, you can do it for sure. Green arguably has the most ways, like in a surprise
ways.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or troll or the enchantment that gives all your creatures hexproof.
Asceticism. Yeah, you can regenerate it also. That's probably just really good in this deck anyway.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways. So going on the opposite end, a 1/1 for 1 is, in my opinion, one of the coolest cards in this set for Commander. And that's Eldest Rejuvenator. This is a 1/1 for 1, not a 1/2, as I mistakenly said a couple of weeks ago. A 1/1, maybe it was last week. It was last week. No, yeah. I don't remember.
Anyway, it's 1/1.
It's a 1/1 for 2, or 1/1 for 2 and a green. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put a land from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Any land, doesn't matter what it is. Obviously, you have the most sweet lands in Commander, so this is probably going to hit something good, or it's just going to ramp you. So it's going to be pretty similar to like a Wood Elves in that deck. So, really
sweet
good
card. Yep. All right, for me, also like Aggressive Mammoth.
So aggressive.
Yeah, it's an 8/8 with trample. It gives all your other creatures trample. It seems like a perfect thing to get with like your Tooth and Nail type deal, or
I like this. This is an honest man's Tooth and Nail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, where you're just getting the big old boys, just big mammoths.
Yeah. I mean, again, I also like this in. I keep saying this, but Maelstrom Wanderer too, like hitting Aggressive Mammoth and hitting like Avenger of Zendikar, that's probably game over. All your creatures have haste. They all have trample. They're all
your 0/1 plants have trample.
I mean, you get some lands. You saved land to play. They're 1/2s. 1/2 trample plants.
Your 1/2 trampling plants.
Then your 7/5 Maelstrom Wanderer haste. Your 8/8 trample haste, and your Avenger of Zendikar haste. It's just.
No, I like this card. It's an 8/8 for 6 with trample on its own. It's like, okay, well, that's Terror Stomper territory. It's not like playable in Commander really, but then when you add the other creatures you control, it's like, okay,
yeah.
Right, now this is a card.
Now we're yes, yeah. There's some big creatures that have big power. Like there's some like things like Lord of Extinction or whatever. Like they're huge, but they never do anything because they don't have trample. So
the Lord of Extinction never has trample. It's never had trample in its whole life. No one's ever been able to give it trample, and Aggressive Mammoth will be the first creature in history.
It's true. Okay, and my other green card is Vivian's Invocation. Maybe I just like looking at the top X cards in my deck and putting a creature into play.
Yeah, you definitely do. Definitely, without a doubt, do.
Yeah, I just like the little random aspect, I guess. I like being able to tutor for a creature. This can get like any creature. If you
I mean, any creature in the top 7.
if you're going down that dark path with Ulamog, you can play Eldrazi's, put into play, then fight and do some silly stuff. So
your dream is to Apex of Power, and then one of the cards you hit is Vivian's Invocation.
Into the Green Praetor.
Into Vorinclex?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a messed up card. I wish that card didn't exist.
Fun card.
It's literally the opposite of a fun card. It's one of the most unfun cards in the entire format.
It's fun for me.
Vorinclex?
Yeah.
How do you like goldfishing it?
My mana's doubled.
Yeah. Yeah, your mana can produce anything you want if no one wants to play with you. Because you just have Vorinclex every game.
That's okay, I'll just play by myself.
Okay. Yeah, good. You and all the other Vorinclex players, you'll play with yourselves.
I think Vorinclex is a fine big creature compared to Eldrazi's, which are absurd. Vorinclex is a fine one, easy to kill.
I do not think that Vorinclex is fine at all. I could not disagree more.
Okay. Well, I think he's fine compared to Eldrazi's. So
compared to what Eldrazi?
Anyone's with Annihilator.
I don't think he's fine compared to anyone with Annihilator. Ulamog's Crusher, that has Annihilator.
Okay, the big ones, the big ones.
So two other creatures?
Ulamog, Kozilek, yeah. Listen, man.
I would much rather play against.
Fine. I want Vivian's Invocation into Jingataxis than pass.
Yeah. So you just said another gigantic. I'd rather play against Jingataxis than Vorinclex at least. At least you have a chance to kill it. Anyway, multicolored. So we're finally getting into the actual EDH zone with our Elder Dragons. So
okay, if you like playing arcade games, Arcades. I got
it because it sounded like arcade.
He's just a sweet general. He's in Bant colors instead of Doran colors, and unlike Doran, he makes all your walls cantrip. They draw a card, and he just looks cool, man. He looks cool.
Yeah, the art is great. However, unlike Doran, it only gives the benefit to defenders, not any of your creatures.
Yeah. Who cares, man? I want to play that wall denial. Have 8/8 flyer with hexproof or spell shroud, whatever it is.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, I get it, and I think Arcades is great. I'm glad that he exists. This is not the card for me. I don't want to play walls. I don't want my walls to just be walls if I don't have Arcades in play, and that can happen because when you have a commander that's your deck is so reliant on it being in play for the deck to function, those decks can fall apart pretty quickly. And then when they work, it looks like you're like the world beater and you're just you're going to slaughter everyone.
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, this card is definitely if Donald Trump played EDH, this will be his general.
Well, no, you have to pay for the walls. You don't make your opponents pay for the walls.
He's building walls regardless. So,
yeah, I'm glad Arcades exists. It's just not like I'm happy to play against it. I'll never complain because you put a bunch of walls in your deck. You put a bunch of walls.
And then they play Tezuka Umezawa, and all your walls are unblockable.
It could be, yeah. And that's fine. And
And
you've earned it. If you're putting Vine Trellis and Overgrown Battlement and like other, I don't even know.
Wall Blossoms, draw 2 cards.
Those are good cards. I was trying to say like Wall-y cards. Like other decks have played Wall of Omens and Wall of Blossoms. Those are just solid.
What about Caravan Created?
Yeah, there you go. See, that's one that wouldn't normally get played. I mean, but it costs 1 more than the other ones.
Yeah,
it's a 5/5 essentially for 3. Yeah, it's fine. You're playing with a bunch of walls. If you do your thing and you can kill someone, good. You deserve it.
Thank you.
But I'll be playing Vivictus, who I believe is the best legendary creature in this set for Commander. Vivictus has a very unique type line, which reads incredibly well because it's in Jund colors. And Jund generally has some trouble with specific. I guess red can kind of get the artifacts and green can get artifacts and enchantments, but I guess at least black does, which is, of course, what I'm always playing. Is that whenever Vivictus Asmati the Dire attacks, for each player, choose target permanent that player controls. That player sacrifices those permanents. So he makes you sacrifice them. He doesn't destroy them. You have to sack them. He coerces you into sacking them. Those players sacrifice those permanents. Each player who sacrificed a permanent this way reveals the top card of their libraries, then puts it onto the battlefield if it's a permanent. You can also choose yourself when you win this attacks. Well, you have to. You have to for each player. So you can literally, if you can manipulate the top of your deck, you can just start flipping crazy stuff into play. Like Vornklex if you're Ali. He's also a 6/6 flyer for 6, which is nothing to sneeze at on his own. All right. Each of us listed an uncommon that we are quite fond of. Ollie, you go first for yours.
Mine's Satyr Enchanter. I mean, the more creatures we get that are good enchantments, I think it's awesome. Satyr Enchanter is like 3 cost, 2/2. Whenever we cast enchantment, you draw a card. Soon, we're gonna have so many there's obviously enchantment theme with your deck, and next podcast we can talk about all the enchantments are coming out too.
We will.
I just like this card. I like this card with. I always loved Enchantress in Legacy, even though it sucks. So maybe I can play Commander and it'd be decent. So Satyr Enchanter appeals to me.
Yeah, I think a card's sweet. I agree. The more the better for that type of effect. My favorite gold card in this set is, Poison Tipped Archer. It's a 2/3 for 2 black green, and it has reach and death touch. So excellent blocker. It can pretty much hold anything down that wants to attack through it. And then the best line of text on it, it says, whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Doesn't matter if you control the creature, if your opponents control the creature. Whenever something dies, every other person loses 1. This card is awesome. Can't wait to play with this card. This is just like another Zulaport Cutthroat or Falconwrath Noble or Blood Artist, those type cards. So this is like, you want as many of those effects as you can in your deck. This is a black-green instead of just a mono-black one, but still, if you're playing black-green and you're doing a lot of sacrificey things, this is right up your alley.
All right. Let's move on to card effects.
Carnifex?
Card effects. Artifacts.
Okay.
Sorry, I was going to hit myself. I really like Chaos Wand as an artifact.
Yeah.
I think you guys have learned that I like just revealing cards off the top of my library.
Or opponent's libraries.
Yes, or opponent's library. Chaos Wand is just a fun card. People play big spells in Commander. If you hit like something, I don't know, Time Warp, Time Stretch, Austere Command, whatever, Cyclonic Rift, and just bounce 1 permanent. But it's just usually when you pay 4 mana, you're probably going to get a spell that costs 4 or more, or you'll hit a spell that's absurd, like Merchant Scroll or Demonic Tutor or Mystical Tutor. A spell that's like, okay, I paid 4 for this, but
or Apex of Power.
Sure.
Or Vivian's Invocation.
Yeah, that's great too.
I'm in for this card. This card.
It's a super fun card. No one's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna destroy that right now. Like no one's scared of it.
Actually, the opposite. Like I feel like there's gonna be someone at the table that's like, oh, I don't like that, and then the other people will be like, oh, let's keep that around because this guy hates it.
Yeah.
Or this girl hates it. So, and then we just target that person with this over and over again, and it just infuriates them. Now, granted, that person's probably going to be me. If I'm playing, I feel like I'm going to be the draw the target of Chaos Wand. But no, I'm in for this card. I'm glad it exists. It's pretty great.
It's a sweet card.
I do think this is better than the other wand, which is Transmorgifying Wand. It turns you get basically three shots at turning a creature into a Pillfiller Ox, but that's a pretty powerful ability for a colorless card.
Yeah, like for green decks that have a hard time usually killing creatures. I think this is
blue
fantastic.
decks. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it is
Both
sweet.
are sweet, but Chaos One is definitely better.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Or not say better, more fun, more fun.
Yeah. Oh, definitely more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. A card I know that you've actually tried in standard that I think is actually just really sweet for commander is Dragon's Horde.
Yeah.
Like on the low end, this is like a Darksteel Ingot. It doesn't have indestructible, but it's a artifact for 3 that taps to add any one mana of any color to mana pool. And then if you're playing dragons, this is a source of card advantage. So
Yeah, and this card says whenever dragon comes into play, not cast. It's like if you reanimate it or you clone a dragon
under your control, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a sweet card.
So like tokens, if you're making like dragon tokens, you're just gonna put a bunch of gold counters on, and then you can remove them and draw cards.
Yeah, Broodmate Dragon makes 2. There's also the new one, the Mon Red one. If you
Lothless, I don't remember exactly what her name is.
Well, there's one that there's a 4-mana one that you can just kick it and it gives you another token.
Oh, that's Vexus Bladewing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it basically what I'm saying is,
yeah, Lothless is the Dragon Queen from this set, Mono Red Dragon Queen.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like, if you can make dragon tokens or whatever, then
yeah,
or even the one that like devours and then makes X tokens or whatever.
Yes.
Or whelps. Yeah. So just cool card.
Yeah. And then in my opinion, one of the absolute best cards in this entire set for Commander is Meteor Golem. This is a 3/3 for 7. It just says simple artifact construct creature. Whenever Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land creature. Now it's a flavor or non-land permanent, not creature. This is a flavor fail because it can't destroy a land, and it's literally coming out of a crater that it created from impacting on the earth or whatever ground it came on.
I like this card. It's like Spine of Ishshaw, but on a creature. But you can't land, but that's okay. It's okay.
No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to do my top five cards for Commander. We've talked about all of them in this section, so I'm just going to give you the rundown real quick. Number 5 for me is Sarkhan's Unsealing. I think that card is just really, really great with kind of combo-y potential. Number 4 is a Johnny's Welcome. Hard to deal with enchantment. As you will notice, my 5, 4, and 3 cards are all enchantments because, again, hard to deal with and do a specific thing really well. Number 3 is Open the Graves. I think this card is just fantastic for black decks. Card that I am putting one of the quickest cards I'm putting into my black deck that my Yeheni deck that I've seen spoiled in a really long time. Number 2 is Nexus of Fate. I somehow like this card more for Commander than Ollie does, which surprised me, but here we are. I think Nexus of Fate is really great. And number 1 card, and this is like number 1 with a bullet for me. I think this is the most important card in this set for Commander, and I actually don't think it's close, and that's Meteor Golem. Meteor Golem gives you the ability to destroy permanents in specific colors that you have no business destroying. This is like the quickest card that I've put into my Yeheni deck in a really long time, because now I can destroy artifacts and enchantments and just continually reanimate this over and over again. And just do whatever I need to do, kill whatever I need to kill. Other than lands, which I'm not concerned about, but gives red decks a way to destroy enchantments, give black decks a way to destroy enchantments, give blue decks a way to destroy creatures. The list goes on. Gives green decks a way to destroy creatures. Like, this card is fantastic. Every way. It's only really not great in white because white struggles the most with making large amounts of mana, and white is also the only creature that can destroy every different card type.
Color, but yeah.
Yeah, so I said yeah, the only color that can destroy every different card type. So I think it's worst in white, but I also think white is the worst color in Commander. Not that you shouldn't be playing white, but you already have the tools if you're playing that. But all the other 4 colors, this is like a huge boon. And in a colorless deck, this is one of the best cards because you can make so much mana. So 7 mana for a 3/3 is really not that big of a deal if you're just literally choosing whatever you want to destroy. This card is amazing. It's so fantastic. I'm glad it exists. Ollie, do you have anything else on Commander for Core 19?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. I'm gonna. I don't want to leave Cube out. I know we've talked a lot about Commander, but I do want to talk about my top 5 cards in Cube for this set also. So number 5 is, I think, Ollie's legitimate favorite card in this set, despite him obviously have said Nexus of Fate a lot. I think Ollie's actual favorite card in this set is Psy Master Thopterist.
I just think the card's great. I think it's finally getting the light it deserves.
Yeah, you love this card. Don't lie.
I do love this card. I do love the card.
But you love it more than Nexus of Fate.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you just don't want to admit it in your heart yet, but you do. Psy is great in Cube because cubes are guaranteed to have a lot of artifacts. Generally, the way in like most cubes are designed, you're going to have a solid number of artifacts. The more powerful this cube is, and power I'm using with a capital P, like if you have Moxen and a bunch of signets and stuff in your cube, the more powerful this gets because you can draft a deck that can really cycle through those cards really quickly. In the beginning of the game, they make Thopters, and at the end of the game, they turn into other cards for you. So, Psy is a really sweet card. It's also a 1/4 in blue, which is really good at stifling early aggression. Number 4 is Leonin War Leader. This card is basically a clone of Hero of Bladehold, which is one of the absolute best 4-drops in Cube. I think if you are able to fit Hero of Bladehold in your cube, and you probably are if you have anything, honestly, like larger than a 360 card cube, and maybe even those. This is a 4/4 where Hero Bladehold is a 3/4. It doesn't have Battle Cry, but it does give you lifelink tokens. So 6 power is a lot. It's only 1 different from the 7 that the Hero Bladehold hits. Of course, if you have other tokens, then you get the bonus from that. But lifelink is a pretty big deal. Like, this is a better catch-up card than Hero Bladehold is. So gets my number 4 spot. Number 3 is another card we've talked about a lot, Tezzeret Artifice Master. This is obviously, again, like Psy, the more powerful your cube is with a capital P, the better the Tezzeret is, the more artifacts that you have that are cheap that can get him out early and activate his draw 2 with his 0 ability. But this is probably the best Tezzeret for cube, and that's going to be a controversial statement, but I think the power level is the most flat. You can draft this card, and you can draft it early and not end up with as many artifacts as you think that you wanted, and this card is still fine because it can supply the artifacts for you because it makes the Thopters, and then you can just start drawing cards. So this card is actually just great. It's just a really solid card all around. Number 2 is another essentially copy of another card that is common in most cubes, and that's Exclusion Mage. Of course, this is just like almost just like Man of War and Aether Adept. It's just a 2/2 for 3 that bounces an opponent's creature. This is an effect you want a lot of. This is like arguably Blue's best tempo play. Adding these to your cube, even if you have multiple copies, is usually never a bad thing. Only the smallest cubes will probably not be able to find room for it. And then the number 1 card, and this is, in my opinion, the number 1 card far and away for cube. I think this fits into every single cube that's not like a combo cube or a pauper cube, and that's Remorseful Cleric. 2/1 for 1 with flying. Spirit, sacrifice it, exile a graveyard, or all cards from all graveyards. This is a beater that has a completely relevant effect attached to it. Even cards like Stormfront Pegasus and Mistral Charger have been playable in cubes for a long time. This is arguably the best version of those. This, alongside Selfless Spirit, I think they're probably tied as the 2 best ones. Obviously, depending on the deck that you're playing, but those two cards are so good, and this card is like right up there. It should make just about every cube. Ollie, do you have anything to add?
No, I was gonna say size number 1.
Size. He was the number 1 card that I said.
I know he's the best.
I think he's good. I think that he's the most auspicious card on this list, but I'm still a fan, specifically in cubes that have a bunch of artifacts. So I'm in for him.
You're in.
I'm in.
Locked in.
Right. Locked him in. All right. Well, we just talked for an hour about Commander for the most part in Core 2019. So if you guys think that we missed any cards please let us know at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter, and of course at JParnell1 and at OllieO'Drowsy on Twitter. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to talk about the movie that I made Ollie watch over the weekend, City of God. So I made you watch the movie City of God, which is available on Netflix last week, right?
City of God. Yes.
That's right. This
I had no idea.
Go ahead.
When I first heard it, I thought I was gonna watch some sort of like sci-fi movie, and like maybe it's gonna be like about like God or religious or something. Yeah.
It is the opposite of everything you just said.
Correct. It was not sci. It was not sci-fi. It was very realistic type deal. Yeah. Yep.
So City of God is a Portuguese movie, or it's Brazilian. It's in Portuguese, so it's subtitles. That is set in a suburb of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil called the City of God, and it outlines a bunch of citizens of the City of God and kind of tracks them through basically like a 10 to 15 year period over the course of their life. And it shows how essentially impoverished and violent and crime-ridden that this city is and the effect that it has on people. And this is actually a movie that I watched in a cinematography class when I was in college for the first time, and it had like not necessarily from like an emotional standpoint, but had such like a profound impact on me from how this movie is shot and put together. It's like this is a movie that I love. Like I'll go ahead and we're in no spoilers right now. I know that Ollie did not like this movie as much as I did.
Wait. Hey. Let me say what I want to say first. Okay?
Go ahead.
You don't know if I like this movie or don't like this movie. You can't say what I'm thinking. So let me tell you, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me rephrase. I have no idea how much or how little Ollie liked this movie. I have no clue at all. So I'm going to let him talk.
Thank you. So this movie, here's a thought of it. It was crap. I didn't like it, and I wouldn't recommend it. I'm a person that watches anime, so I'm used to reading subtitles, and this is a little over 2 hours subtitles. That doesn't necessarily bother me, but I don't like this movie.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Why? You're just saying that you don't like it. You're not saying why you don't like it.
I mean, do I need a reason?
Yeah, we're doing a podcast where we explain things. So yeah,
it doesn't appeal to anything that I like. I'm not a huge fan of like gangster movies, which is gangsterish. It was almost like, I don't know. It's weird. It's just not my type of movie. Like, it's just something I don't personally enjoy watching.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this. Why don't you tell me what you're giving this 1 out of 5 stars?
I'm sorry, just I'm giving it 1 star.
First of all, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you're giving this. So what did you say?
1 star.
You're giving this 1 star? Great. Then this is going to be the greatest discrepancy because City of God is a 5-star movie for me.
Okay.
I think this movie is phenomenal. All right, let's go ahead and get into spoilers because I know you feel impeded by the spoiler layer. So, are you ready? Spoiler warning?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler warning. You do the noise. I say spoiler warning.
Okay,
Is your first day on the job?
All right.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Okay, you're in the spoiler zone now. All right. So let me guess. You hated it. Everything is the worst. You don't like it. Quantum.
Not that. No. Okay. Let me just first say this is my least. It's pretty high up there on my genre movies that like that I don't really enjoy. I don't know why per se, but it just doesn't really appeal to me. And my favorite character in the movie ends up dying.
Benny.
Yes, Benny.
Of course.
I know his name. That's the only one I remember. His name. He's cool. And yeah, like I hated Lil Z.
Yes. Well, yeah. He is Lil Z is one of the best movie villains like ever. Cuz he's like he's such like a despicable person, but you try to like there's moments where you're like well, he's doing a little bit of good. Maybe he's not the worst. No, he is the worst. He is the worst. In case I forgot, he is actually the worst.
Yes, I hate him for a plethora of reasons. Like, God, the things he
why don't
does.
you go ahead and list them.
Okay, he rapes a woman that in front of her man, and then her.
Yeah.
Then he corners basically two kids in a group. He shoots them both in the foot, and then tells one of his little kids to pick one to kill.
Yep.
That's that's absurd. Like, it's absurd. I don't know. And then like
that's the most difficult scene in the entire movie to watch, for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah. It was super shitty. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of when I was a kid. When I was like 3, 4, like 5-ish, in Lebanon, Beirut, there was a lot of civil war, and I remember the first time walking out of my apartment, we were walking to go to the grocery store, and I remember seeing like just a body laying on the side of the road that just happened because of civil war. Like people were shooting each other for whatever reason. Reminded me of that. Reminded me of reminded me like a lot of like. Also a lot of bombings. There were not bombings here, but it was basically same kind of concept where I know this is obviously based on a true story, and I believe it because I was young.
You've seen it.
Yeah, it's just a horrible thing. That's like it's depressing.
It is, and it is that is one of the things, and it is based on a true story. Like. Pretty closely. Obviously not necessarily the personalities of the people, but like all of the primary characters are like people that existed. Yeah,
and one of the most beautiful characters that's quote unquote like a villain, I guess. Benny, he dies, and rightfully so because he's involved in what he's involved in, I guess. And I saw it coming, but it's still like just super depressing. He was trying to get out of everything, and he was getting out. He decided to throw a getaway party, and that was like the worst. That's always the worst thing you can do, is throw a party for you leaving. And he dies basically because of Lil Z.
Yeah. So. Well, almost every single person that died in the movie died because of Lil Z.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's not one of the. I mean. A strong villain for cinema is like one of my favorite things because watching someone portray that on the screen is impressive.
I try to go ahead. I'll let you finish. Sorry.
Because that's not, obviously like when it's something that's this realistic, that like that's not who that person is. But you're like, man, you're awfully convincing to being this really awful human being. Yes. And it's so like honestly, like his performance is like so amazing to watch because this is kind of crazy. The only like classically trained actor in this movie is Rocket, the main character. a lot of the other people and almost all of the extras and people that had minimal lines or no lines, those are actually people that lived in the city of God or around Rio de Janeiro.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know that.
So what were you going to say?
I forgot, but another thing too, even when even when he was a little dice, a kid, like
terrible person from birth.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
go
ahead.
Sorry, I was also looking for when Little Dice went to basically not a priest, but the voodoo magician, spiritual person. He said, this will change your fate, who you are, but don't wear this while being intimate with a woman. If you do, you'll die like a horrible death or whatever. And did he wear it?
He had it on. He had it on the whole time. He always wore that chain.
Okay, so after he raped the woman, he basically came back to bite him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could say that his life path was leading to him dying
a horrible death.
Yeah. But yeah, that was something that.
Oh, also remember now. So after Benny died, I struggled to find a character that could really like.
Yeah.
Or like kind of connect to or maybe relate to in a way. There was none. Like even the person telling the story, Rocket, is just you don't really connect. Like I didn't really connect to him at all.
No, and he is a narrator first and a character second.
Yes, and then there's literally nobody else. Like there's nobody else that you really care for after that. So it's just it's so weird. I don't really remember last time where I watched a movie where I didn't connect or feel with any of the characters.
Yeah,
and I basically wanted them all to die. Not want them all to die. Like Rocco was obviously fine, and there's the innocent people that are fine, but I didn't care for. Actually, I cared a little bit for
Knockout Man.
Yes, but he got dark pretty quick too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He was almost forced to.
Yeah, I know. I can't imagine what happened to him. Knocking out is the guy where he got his he's one that Lizzie raped his wife, and then he also this made me mad too because he said he couldn't look at her after that happened to her.
Yeah.
And that is a thing that happens. It's obvious. This is also it's kind of like a Middle Eastern thing too, or maybe not Middle Eastern, but I know this is something that matters where I'm from too, and it's fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
She's obviously going through trauma, God knows what, and literally needs you the most in her life that she's ever needed anybody, and you can't look at her because something happened to her that you couldn't control. That blew my mind. I was so mad.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
But see, and that's the thing. All of these, man, it's just the movie doesn't pull any punches. It takes you on an emotional roller coaster from the very beginning of the movie till the very, very end.
Yes, and the roller coaster it's a negative emotional roller coaster for me.
Yeah, it's meant to be. It's not. There's not there's not really parts where you feel good. They're just I guess these people aren't dead, so they did okay, right? They didn't get caught up in these gangs for the most part. They did okay.
Yeah, it's dark.
The thing. So my favorite thing about the movie is the way that the story is told and the way that the movie is shot. As they're going through all of the characters' stories, and how they kind of use time as a storytelling device. Often they'll introduce a character and be but it's not time for this person's story yet, because they're a bit part in another person's story, right? And then they'll shift the focus to being on this other character, and then they'll shift the focus to be on this other character, and it all connects. And it's over the course of obviously 12 years, so it's just it's interwoven very beautifully from a cinematography perspective to do. Mm-hmm. And honestly, this is why I love this movie so much is outside of the emotions that the story's making you feel, the way that the movie is put together and what it is attempting to do, which is make you feel very strong emotions, whether they're negative for the most part, or positive. It's almost it's always going to get what it wants out of the watcher because of how everything is put together. Because it's a slow build in a way for all of these characters. Like you meet Little Dice, who turns into Little Z immediately, right? But you don't see like the monster he becomes or immediately. It's like every 10 minutes it's something worse, and every 10 minutes it's something worse, every 10 minutes it's something worse.
Yeah, it's foreshadowed, but yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually you see it.
But you also see like even the characters they leave behind, because in this movie, once someone dies, and this happens frequently, the only person that is really brought up again is Benny, because like once someone dies, they're like, well, they're gone. Yeah, they're gone, and that's just like that's what they're doing. Like that's what they've learned in this place that they've grown up in, is like once someone is gone, they're gone. Like don't waste time.
And it's so easy. It's so easy to just move on.
Yeah. Which is why Benny is ultimately the most important character, because he really is the character that holds this whole movie together.
Oh, he was the glue.
And then when he is gone, everything just unravels immediately. Not like a year after, like immediately.
No. Yeah.
And it's great because like you get, even though there's like main characters, like I would say Benny and Rocket and Lil Z are like the three main characters. There's like other auxiliary characters, like obviously Knockout Ned becomes an auxiliary character, and then
Carrot is one too.
Yeah, and then even in the very beginning of the movie, Goose and Clipper and Shaggy are all like main characters for like 30 minutes of the movie, right? And then they're just gone.
Yeah.
So, for various reasons. But you spend enough time with these characters to get to know them and care about what is happening. Maybe not care and like you want something to happen, but you are emotionally invested in what is happening. Now, of course, if you're listening to this now and you haven't watched the movie, we're telling you that virtually every one of these little parts for all of these characters ends in disaster.
Yeah. It's definitely a hope crusher too, because a lot of the characters too, that the good ones that try to get out of the whatever they're in, the gang or the hoodlums, whatever they want to call them. When they try to get out, all the ones that like try to turn the leaf die. Like so that like you see this hope of like, okay, he's changing for this girl or for his parent or whatever, and it's like, well, it's too late. The cops want you, or some gangster wants to you.
Yeah,
you're dead. And it's just like it's such a it's a hope crusher.
And that's one of the, like I said, the most difficult part of the movie to watch is when Little Z is controlling his slum, there's virtually no crime. There's no violent crime anyway. There's obviously a lot of crime going on with money and drugs, but there's no violent crime. There's no robbing. There's no holdups. And then this little group called the Runts comes in, and they're working for Carrot, who is controlling another part of the slum, and they are doing basically things that Little Z doesn't want to do, which is basically the reason he doesn't want to. It's not that he cares. He personally doesn't care about anyone, but it's bad for business, is what he says. Is if there's a lot more attention on people getting held up or hurt or killed in his part where he's running the drugs. So
yeah, because then the more attention is on to him. The Runs are basically stealing candy and just random kid stuff. It's still a problem, obviously, but like,
well, they're holding people up. They're stealing.
Yeah. They definitely are stealing.
Yeah. So he corners them, and then he gets a person who he's basically trying to inundate into his gang called Steak. And like Alex said, he he corners a kid that's 6 and then like 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Asks them if they want to get shot in the hand or the foot, and they're both crying the whole time, like crying for real, crying.
Yeah.
And they both hold out their hand, sobbing, and then he shoots them both in the foot. And these are like 6 and 8 year old kid. And then he gives the gun to Steak, who he was like at the beginning of this scene. Steak, someone knocks on his door, and they're like, "Come on out." And then he runs out and he's like, "All right, Mom, I'm going out with my friends." And going out with his friends mean I'm gonna get inundated into this gang and kill someone, a kid that's younger than me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is the life that is being cultivated for all of these people in this city.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, the scene is just so powerful, in a bad way.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Still so emotionally powerful that it's like, man, I don't know. There's almost like, even though we're in spoilers, like if you haven't watched this movie and you're still listening, I know Ollie did not like it. He gave it a 1 star, but obviously you've heard him talking about it and you've heard the reasons that he doesn't like it. It's not because the movie is not well done. It's because it makes you feel really terrible.
Yeah, it makes you feel like crap.
Yeah, it makes you feel like crap. So if you're into that, if you want to feel like crap, or you want to watch a movie that is incredibly well shot, well written, and well done altogether, then I will recommend City of God, even if Ollie does not. Is that a fair statement? At least the last part.
You can recommend it. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I don't like it because of how it made me feel ultimately. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Like, it's not like terrible actors or anything. It had good actors. The story was good. It's just what I got out of it was just
cry yourself to sleep.
I mean, wasn't good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ollie. Anything else on City of God? Your favorite movie of 2018? This movie is also about 15 years old, so chances are a bunch of you have seen it.
I would really love people that have watched this. I would love to hear your opinions if you're on Justin's side or my side or what you think.
Me too. I would like to hear.
I would like to hear it anyways. Yeah.
So yeah. Please let us know. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, question of the week. All right, Ollie. Question of the week. It's been a while since we've had a commander-oriented question of the week, so I think it's about time, especially since we talked about Commander for an hour today.
Question of the week? Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Wait. This is the part where Director Chet adds in some terrible, terrible music.
Bow,
Yep.
bow. Bow, bow. Question of the week.
Yep, that was it. That was the music.
Yeah.
This one's simple. Column A or column B. Which Elder Dragon makes the best commander? Which M19 Elder Dragon? Though I guess you could pick any Elder Dragon because all these are better than all the old ones.
Are we going with best or more fun?
Well, commander, it's the same to me.
Okay, I'm gonna go with fun.
Yeah, I think the most fun commander is the best commander.
Okay.
I don't need to win. I just need to.
All
have
right. Well,
the most fun.
that's easily Arcades, the strategist. Arcades loves the humans. He teaches them lore wise, and he does the same thing. You just build a pillow fort, build more pillow forts. Then you can just be like, hey, you are getting out of hand, and then you kill your opponent with pillows. Like, what more could you want?
It sounds like you're a serial killer.
Death by pillows.
Yeah. You're putting a pillow over your opponent's face and smothering them in the night.
You're throwing pillows at their face, and these pillows.
Oh my god! They're made of bricks.
With Arcades out, they are. They literally are made of bricks with Arcades out. When Arcades the commander.
So here's what I'm envisioning. Someone is standing on the other side of a wall, and you have these really weak-looking guys, right? These are the walls in the deck.
They're
throwing pillows, and they got pillow stuff in them. They got stuffing, and they got some feathers. All right, they're throwing pillows, and it's just like reflecting off of these guys on the other side of the wall. Like, what are these guys doing? And then Arcades he blinks in as a pillow's in the air, and he has a wand, and he shoots the wand. It's like, and then the feathers in the pillow turn into bricks.
That's what happens. Like, these pillows that are bouncing off your wall and off your face, all of a sudden are smashing your walls, destroying your creatures,
and your face is
smashed. Yeah, it's just cool. It's fun.
Okay. No, I like. That's good. You've sold me on it more. However, I'm still not going to agree. I'm closer to agreeing than I was before, based on the analogy.
Right, okay.
I'm going to choose Vivictus as Madi the Dyer. As I was talking about earlier, I think Vivictus is the most fun because it's like controlled chaos. You're just like, I'm gonna make you sacrifice that permanent. Like, I know you don't want to kill it, but I'm gonna make you sacrifice it. Yeah, it's basically chaos warping, except it's killing, which is even better because it's like that's not going to come back. And you get to do it to yourself, so you get to set up your library. You can do you have Top and Miri's Guile and Sylvan Library to set up the top of your library, so you can get big stuff into play and deal with your opponent's best thing every turn it attacks. Now the only downside is it does have to attack, unlike Arcades, who sits behind his wall of pillow brick throwing fellows. Yeah. But that's what you want to be doing if you got a gigantic Jund Dragon attacking. So it doesn't matter if Vivictus connects or not. Also, you can remove blockers with Vivictus to make sure that it doesn't die in combat. Because you don't really need to hit them, but you want to, but you really just want to get rid of stuff. So the fact that you can handle a bunch of stuff and mess with the top of your library at the same time, he gets the vote in my book. I don't have the analogy that I thought of with Arcades is better than the one I'm thinking of with Vivictus. So yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right, we'll just leave it.
Okay, all right. So you guys should let us know which of these two Elder Dragons, Arcades or Vivictus, is the more fun commander for EDH, or vice versa, the most fun Elder Dragon for commander, whichever way you want to look at it. Ollie, where can people find you to let you know what they think of City of God and Arcades as a commander?
Twitter.com/AllYallDrawsy is the best place to tweet at me. You can also find my articles over at gatheringmagic.com. They're out every Friday. Usually have brews up. So this week I'll have... I talked about Esper Nexus and a deck Justin and I brewed up together on the car ride back with Grixis. I'm calling it Grixis Legends. It has stuff like Brawl's Expertise. Mm-hmm. Not Expertise, sorry. Brawl Chief of Compliance. And some Legends, basically. But most importantly, it has Justin's favorite...
Yawgmoth's Vile Offering.
Yeah, so you should probably check that out.
I'll check it out for sure.
Right,
I built it last night on Arena.
Nice.
On Arena. Yeah, I used all of my wild cards.
Worth.
Yeah. It's been sweet. It's not the optimized version, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
So I did one run with the Legends version, and then one run with the more energy based version.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to switch between those because the core of the deck is pretty similar, but you got 10 to 12 cards that are different. So
yeah, I like Legends version, but yeah.
Yeah, I did. I only got 4 wins with the Legends version. I got 6 with the energy version, but that doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than the other. I can tell you for sure, the Legends version is more fun.
For sure,
guaranteed.
For sure. Yep.
Okay, you can also find me on Twitter at jcarnell1, and of course, I'm the host of the Commander Versus series on StarCityGames.com and YouTube every Wednesday, 11 a.m. If you're watching this week, you got to see our exclusive Commander 2018 preview card. Speaking of which, we're going to be talking about Commander 2018 in full next week, so you definitely do not want to miss that, especially if you listened this week and enjoyed our Commander conversation. We're going to continue that for a whole nother week. All Commander, all the time.
Commanders rejoice.
Commanders rejoice! If you want to contact the show, you can do so at ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter, and of course, ThinktwiceMTG@gmail.com if you'd like to send us a personal message. You can also find this show on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, now Google Play Music. And of course, if there's any other platforms that you would like to be listening to that you don't have the opportunity to now, please let us know. And while you're listening today, if you would not mind leaving us a review on whatever platform you are listening on, we'd love a 5-star review on iTunes, we'd love a comment or a like on SoundCloud, we'd love a share on YouTube, and whatever you do on Stitcher, you do that too.
Stitch it up.
I think you probably just leave like star reviews on that too. And then, yeah, since it's Google Play Music, if you're listening on that, we'd love a review there since we're brand new there. You can support the show by watching us stream on Thinktwice, twitch.tv/ThinktwiceMTG. I've actually been pretty lax on streaming. Things just come up in the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to be out of town next week, so I won't be able to do that. But we do have, every once in a while, we do stream on there. So it's worth the follow just to see when we pop up, or our little heads pop up playing some MTG Arena. You can also support us on patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG. We have a lot of great rewards tiers, including our $1 Augur Bolus tier, which grants you early access to the show, and to our Discord channel, exclusive for Patreon supporters. We also have multiple other tiers, some for deck lists, some for tokens, some for playmats. Lots of cool stuff. Patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG. And of course, we have a Discord Animal of the Week from our Patreon supporters. And it's my turn to pick, right?
Yes. Who is it?
My turn. Okay. The Discord Animal of the Week is King Mario, first of his name.
Congrats, King Mario, first of your name.
Yes. All hail, King Mario.
All praise.
You had
praise.
You had the cutest picture. It's excellently taken, and I want to rub your little ears. They look very soft. We want to give a special thank you to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. And of course, our director and producer, John Che. He's behind the scenes every week. He put in that really weird music that we have no idea what it was, but it's probably really weird for Question of the Week. I'll listen to it in a couple days and tell him how much I hate this one, because I hated the last one a lot. We want to thank our special Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, and Liam Whelan. Thank you guys very much. As Ollie likes to say,
you're the true MVP.
Yes, the true MVP. There it is. You did it. You did it.
I did it.
Next week, the show's going to be interesting because I'm going to be at Gen Con during the show, okay? So I'm not going to have my normal setup. We're going to be talking in our pop culture section about a bunch of board games that I've seen at the show, and I'm going to tell you all about them and which ones that I want to buy, which I'm going to try to limit it to 20 or 30 minutes to talk about it, okay?
All right. I'm
going to do my best. But that's the show for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. Ollie, I love you. Thank you for being the best co-host in the entire show.
Thank you. Over and out.
All right. Bye, guys.